Morning, friends. Let's go ahead and start by finding a seated position. Yes, please feel free to chime in our chat area. It's so nice to actually see that there's people out there other than my little number, my little counter that tells me my audience. Hey, Gabe. Hey, Leah. So let's, in a way, start by, we don't have to come to any certain physical position or meditative state. We're just a person sitting, bringing awareness, like, oh yeah, this body. Having a body is difficult. Like we could all agree on that. Very demanding. In a way, we are kind of honing in on this middle path that it's like an ongoing study, how to feed this body so it's really at ease and peaceful, has good energy. How do we do this exercise? How do we move in a way that's, just like our whole practice is kind of physical therapy. So this is why repetition is important. Because it's like a time where we're really playing with, how do I do this? Even in the past few years, I've gone through some of my own real physical struggles of pain and unknown pain in my body. What is this? Go ahead and just close your eyes. Start to take some deeper breaths. You just feel your spine. Start to feel like, oh yeah, there's the strength lifting up to the spine, and almost as you grow that strength around your spine, the rest of the body can just like, just relax. But it's almost like the more you relax, the more upright you are. It's due to that deep, what is called that core strength. So even in this first 3 minutes of yoga, just keep this in mind. This is something you could do at any point in the day. Is this remembering of not only a moment of just letting go of all of our entanglements. It's like, oh yeah, I could just sit upright and just feel this deep strength. Now go ahead and just reach your arms way out to the side. Like, even though this is how we often start, you want to get really curious, like, well, how does it feel today? So as you inhale, you're going to bring your arms all the way up. Lift up through your spine and then stay almost taller as you bring the arms down and as you exhale. Keep your eyes really relaxed, even closed as you continue doing this. Very steady orchestration of inhaling up, exhaling down. Steady pace. I sometimes think of like a faucet or a spigot where you can turn the spigot so the flow stays really steady. So clear. I'm just taking care of my body right now. This breath is starting to sweep away any distractions, bringing you more and more thoroughly here. It's nice to put down like all of the wanting and the craving. Just feel a real softness of the face and the eyes. Now, next time that you bring your arms up, go ahead and just keep your right arm up and just take that left hand down. And maybe like really bring your weight down into that hand. Lift around your chest. So just get into that nice deep stretch through the side of your body. Drink in breath through your nose. And then switch. Really like, the side of the body. You have to kind of lift up out of your lower back here. This gets into quite a movement for your lower back. We'll do this now, just kind of fluid back and forth. And you might have your eyes closed so you can move awareness deeper inward. Good. As we let this go, you're going to go ahead and recline right onto your back. And as you lay on your back, go ahead and just reach your arms and your legs right up into the air. Start to move your hands, start to move your feet. As we know, there's a real complexity to your wrists, your hand bones, your ankles, your feet, your toes. So just let it all move. Like there's just nothing like movement and repetitive movement for your body. This is actually in your joints. What's happening is this movement repetitively actually signals your body to release what is the synovial fluid in your joints, like that lubricant. So in order for this lubrication to happen, you have to move and, trigger that. It just tells the body like, hey, we need some fluid here. And then as you let this go, reach your arms way out to the side, even draw your shoulder blades under so they're flat. Take your feet right down to the mat. So you're bending your knees. And then right around your navel, just pull your navel in. Do that squeeze where you flatten your lower back down. You might even feel your tailbone kind of curl up away from the floor. And then we're going to do the opposite. Could you start to point your tailbone down towards the floor and arch your lower back? Now, there might be some actual shifting because the moment you arch your lower back, it's going to move through your whole spine. So allow that. Keep your throat soft. And then we'll do this with the breath repeatedly where you exhale. You just squeeze your navel down. You might even kind of scoop your tailbone, lift it up. And then as you inhale, you arch your lower back. Now we do want to do this like just right, this repetition, just the right effort. You don't need to really blast into this extreme movement. It's just more about the repetition in kind of a moderate way. Make sure, like, really get sensitive for your whole spine. Like, this feels right. So this action is very, very good for your lower back health. Because typically during the day, your lower back, your whole pelvis is not doing this. No, it's not moving at all. It's usually quite kind of stuck. So it's good to intentionally do this. Good. Now go ahead and pause and reach your arms and your legs up again, right up to the ceiling. And then bend your right knee, draw that knee into the chest and lower your left leg down. And then right around your navel, pull your navel down again. So you're flattening your lower back and then lift your head up and do your nice big sit-up where you're drawing your knee towards your nose towards your knee. Your shoulders can stay down. Keep that contraction around your belly button. As you let this go, you can switch sides. Bring the left knee in, extend the right leg. Long right leg, and then navel down. And then lifting up to your sit-up while breathing. You don't need to hold your breath here. In fact, we could do this with the breath, because yes, you're going to do this back and forth. So as you're switching, I like to inhale as I'm switching. And as you pull your navel down, you start to exhale and you lift up to your sit-up. And then you inhale and you switch sides. As you start to exhale, you pull your navel down and you lift up, you just squeeze. Doing this back and forth now. This is when we kind of start to play with this. So through the repetition, we're kind of honing in on like what works just right for you today. Like maybe you're doing this, with the breath, or not. You're maybe doing a completely different kind of pacing. Stay light around your heart. And possibly even the little smile that comes in. I mean, there's just something, hopefully, just so wholesome about doing this. And wholesome, there's just something holistic. And every level, this is good. To the point where it's like good for the whole world. Good. Now, as we let this go, since we're here and we're starting to move the spine in a variety of ways, we're going to reach the arms up to the side, bring both knees into the chest now. Really lengthen your spine. So your spine almost lifts up away from the floor, kind of embeds in your body. And then you start to do a little twist. You drop your knees slightly to the right. Keep the legs together. And then go up and over to the left. Now, at first, you might do this and just continue to face upward to the ceiling. Like you might not move your head at first. And you're just exploring just the lower body moving. And how if your pelvis, because you're really taking this back and forth, naturally the spine has to twist. Well, finding then through the repetition, just this right, and graduating into this twist. Now, maybe when you drop your legs, maybe that twist really starts to go up through your whole spine. So you look the other way. As you're twisting, the knees drop to one side, the head rotates to look the other direction. But it's through the connection that, in a way, the body is just doing this now on its own. The mind is not dictating. So naturally, the body takes care of itself while doing the hard work. Good. And then as you let this go, you just pause in the center. You're going to reach up, grab your thighs, lift your head, and go ahead and swing your legs. So you come back up, you come all the way up to your seated pose. So we're going to take the soles of the feet together here and just move into a couple different positions in your hips. This is external rotation, where the knees are now reaching out to the side. Your thigh bones have to rotate in the hip, and you're lifting your chest. Now, not only are they rotating, the thighs are opening apart, right? So give the hips some time here. Breathe, reaching out to the side. Keep your throat really soft. Now take your knees up, and we're going to reach the legs now out to the side. Now, as you do this, this is very different in your hips. Maybe it feels different, like just sitting upright here. So that this is called abduction, where the legs are opening apart and out to the side, but there's not any rotation because you're pointing your toes straight up. Ground, imagine like your pubic bone is dropping down here. And as the pubic bone drops down, you're going to lift your ribs up. So this really opens around your belly. And then as you let this go, you're going to lean back onto your elbows, bring your legs together, and then in any way, start to straighten your legs. Now, don't sink your chest here as you do this. Gradually straighten your legs out. This is very strong pose here. And then just bend your knees again at the same time. Just draw them in. We're going to do this one more time. So we want to lift the spine up. Just straighten your legs out. Ooh, good morning. Quadriceps, get those thigh muscles working. And then as you let this go, you're going to use your elbows and push yourself up again, but just take the feet right on the mat. So that was just deep hip flexion. We're going to move to hip extension in this reverse tabletop position. So take your hands down, maybe just point your fingers out to the side or a little behind you. Push your feet down, lift your chest, and then just start to lift your butt away from the floor. And then really lift your tailbone up. So now I'm getting to the point where there's no flexion in my hips. and then just lower down. Now, I know that this is also not only extension in your hips, but more so in your shoulders, right? Because your arms are behind you. So do this just a few times. Just lift the butt up, lifting, and you're exploring the extension in your arm, in your shoulders, and your hips. Lifting, pull your tailbone up, lower it down. Tailbone up. Now, as you do this, keep your chin down. You don't want to let your head drop back. So just lifting, lowering, lifting up, lowering. Good. Good. As you let this go, we're going to go right into the opposite action, which would be what? Flexion in your arms and legs, otherwise known as downward facing dog. So now the arms go into, instead of behind you, they're in front. They're going into nice deep flexion. And also in your hips is that moderate 90-degree angle in your hips. So sneaking into this. We have this little variety of movements in especially these 4 giant joints in your body, shoulders and hips. So notice when you go to your plank pose, like, oh, now there's no flexion in your hips. This is extension. There's a little bit of flexion in your shoulders. Slightly. Go back to your down dog, lift up. Really lift your hips way up. And then move to your plank pose. You can do this a few more times. Now just steady, move back and forth. Through the repetition is this opportunity of, in yoga, it's called svadhyaya, which is self-study. Self-study is actually this doorway to compassion. It's not the doorway to self-criticism. It could be, but as we're practicing, we know this, like having a body is difficult. So we could be compassionate. Let's come to standing and come up. As you come up, just reach your arms out. And yeah, with the arms out, you're just feeling your shoulder blades. Just push your shoulder blades on your back. And let's do that more dynamic action where we're both like swinging the arms and the legs, and we're doing a repetitive breath. So this is the one where we just bring the arms up, we lift one knee up, and this is the big inhale, and you exhale and you come down. And then the other leg, you inhale, you lift up, and then you exhale, you come down. Now that was really slow, so we do this, and please find your own pace. So I'm breathing through my nose the whole time. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. It's a pretty straightforward action, but you might find yourself kind of wobbly or tipping all over the place. So could we, through the repetition, stabilize this? Grow the strength in your spine. Feel the standing leg really firm and strong. Not so concerned with how high you're lifting your knee up. We're going to keep going until I can see every one of you smiling. Getting there. There we go. Release, letting go. And yeah, let's just come up right towards the front of the mat, all right? So we're going to take ourselves through a half sun salutation. And I'm going to kind of make up what this means. So right up at the front of your mat, light heart. Why is the heart light? What leads to that is the spine being really strong. Arms come up. Move to your full forward bend. And then from your forward bend, you're going to take your left foot and step it back. Now, you really have one of two options. So one option would be to be up here. So take your hands up to your right thigh. So I'm still in a lunge position. Straighten your back leg. So we're just deepening this lunge. Now we're going to go ahead and start to twist open to the right. And as you do that, you could take your right arm and open it to start to reach that right arm back. Maybe a little more upright, like lift your spine and explore. Like you're balancing, you're twisting. And then as you let go of this, hands come down to the mat and you step forward. You go right back to your forward bend. The legs are strong. Pull up through your legs. Deep hinge in your hips. And then push right into your heels. Now, as you come up, you're going to come all the way up. Reach your arms up. Take your hands together and just overlap your thumbs. And start to go up and over to the right side, and you're stretching the left side of your body. And then you're going to go up and over and stretch the right side of your body. And then you do that again. Light heart. Up and over. Just do back and forth. You can just relax around your shoulders, your neck. Legs are strong. Good. Now as you let this go, you're going to just release the arms way out to the side and move to your forward bend. So from your forward bend here, your right foot is going to lightly step back. And you're going to bring your hands up to that left thigh. Straighten the back leg. And as you lengthen your spine, you start to twist a little bit. You open to the left. And you might naturally come a little more upright as you reach your left shoulder back. And you're twisting. Now we need the whole spine lengthening. Lengthening, like even your neck is lengthening. And then you let go of your twist. You're going to step forward into your forward bend. And you come up. You push into your feet, come all the way up. Palms together, overlap your thumbs. Now go up and over to your side stretch. Up and over to the other side. Deep strength through the core. Your feet all the way up to the crown of your head. Good, and then as you let this go, the arms reach out to the side. You move over to your forward bend again. So right foot stays forward now as your left foot steps back. So all you're going to find here is you could bring your hands up to your right thigh, or you could keep your hands down. And you're going to twist. So that means you do lift your right hand. So I'm just lightly keeping my left fingertips down and twisting open. Reaching that right arm. So where is the position that, works for your body? Twist in your lunge position. Untwist. Step lightly forward. Forward bend means that you're bringing like your belly towards your thighs. And you come up, you push into your feet, come all the way up. Lift up through your spine, up and over to the side. You just are in your side stretch, you switch. This one, you could go really slow, you might go a little faster, I'm just doing like 2 on each side and then to your forward bend. Your right foot steps back. So maybe it works for your physical architecture to keep your right hand down and left hand just goes up towards your thigh and you start to twist. Now, if this is really strenuous and stressful, you could come up and then do your twist. Any amount. Keep the spine really lifting, lengthening. As you untwist, that back foot is going to step forward. As you come up, push into your feet, come up. Really lengthen and go side to side. Deep strength in the body. The face is relaxed, eyes are calm. Now, as you move to your forward bend, I'm actually going to introduce like a third way to do this twist. You fold over, deep forward bend. Like a half sun salutation with a twist. So my left foot steps back, so you're going to be in a lunge. You could lift all the way up kind of to that, that crescent pose and move to your twist. Or, as you're lifting up here, you're going to take your left elbow and go way across to the outer right thigh. And then palms together. And you really push your palms together and you twist and open. So again, I'm still in a lunge position. Twisting. So as you untwist, there's that light touch down, the stepping forward, forward bend, push into the feet and come up. Stay grounded through your feet. The whole time as you're up here, you do a little side stretch. Even lift your ribs straight up as you do this. Good, and then your forward bend, you fold over. Keeping your left foot forward, your right foot goes back. So again, in this third variation, I'm lifting up. I'm going to take my right elbow across, way out to my outer left thigh, pressing my upper arm bone on my thigh, take palms together, twisting, opening. Back leg, really straightening. Breathe, stable. Twist. When you push your hands together, it opens your elbows. And then as you release out of your twist, your back foot steps forward. Forward bend. Lift the legs like straight up and down. And then push down, come all the way up. Reach your arms up. Little side to side here. Good. Now as you release your arms, arms come down. So in a way, in that half sun salutation, we don't really end up on the belly, on the floor. So it's a little bit more working with standing work. So let's stay really upright and standing here. Take your feet now wide apart. Let's go over that foot positioning, kind of the dance of the warriors. We're going to start with warrior 1 and move to warrior 3, then warrior 2. So for warrior 1, we are going to open to your right side. So opening that foot to the right. Now, what's interesting is, let's do a compare and contrast. If you were just to bend the right knee and extend the arms, there you are in warrior 2. So bring your arms down. So for warrior 1, we want to take the hips and completely face the right. So I have to move my left foot, right? So I'm going to face that right side. So this is the position of warrior 1. I'm going to straighten the back leg. So there's no rotation in your hips in warrior 1. In fact, if anything, they're kind of rotating inward. Now you have to ground that back heel, lift up your hip bones, lift the heart, and then reach the arms up. So it's important to push into the floor here. Like really ground and then lift up through your spine, tailbone in. This is what I mentioned in my email about Gita Iyengar calls these standing poses the donkey work of yoga. Like it's kind of brute force. They're very strong poses. Arms go out to the side now as we shift to warrior 3, which means we balance on that right leg. You just shift your weight. And as you're balancing, you're going to start to lift your left leg. You have to move at your own pace or find your own pose. So the repetition here is more of the breath. I mean, you could certainly like lift up away from the pose and kind of go back into it as that self-study. Now go ahead and just step that left foot back where it came from and just open up to your warrior 1 again. The back heel, that left heel really grounding. The more it grounds, the more you lift your heart, lift your ribs. Now you get to open to your left into your warrior 2 pose. To reach the arms wide across, and that left foot has to open a little bit. The right leg, you could, straighten and then bend again just to feel like, kind of doing the same thing. Maybe your feet go wider apart. Warrior 2. Letting go, arms come down, straighten that right leg. Let's take feet parallel, and then even step the feet together. Mountain pose, feeling the effect. that strength here through like your whole core, we could say. Like, it's not just your spine, like right from the soles of your feet, lifting up. And the skin is really soft. Lots of space for your lungs. So we step the feet wide apart again. And as we go to the left, you're going to open your left foot to the left. Right foot moves in a little bit, toes in. And as you start to bend that left knee, you could just briefly go to that warrior two, where you reach your arms out. But warrior one is what we'll move into. So the arms are going to come down. You really have to face the left leg. So adjust that right foot. It might point a little bit more to the left, so you can really bend left knee and take your hips square to the left as best you can. And then we gotta lift the navel. Get that, remember that contraction, you pull up. And then as your arms come up, you open the soles of your feet. Again, if anything, the thighs are kind of internally rotating. Breathe, there's space here. If everything feels kind of tight and jammed up, you could just back off a little bit, like straighten that left leg, take a shorter stance maybe, and then re-bend the left knee. Soft eyes. And as you reach your arms now out to the side, we're going to move to warrior three. So navel in, use your abdominal strength to balance now. Take yourself right on top of that left leg. Right leg starts to lift. Feel your body. Staying connected. Self-study. So we're learning what's going on today. If everything, let's say feels kind of funky and wobbly, you might just kind of come out of the pose, like start again. Standing leg firm and strong. So I'm suggesting, just keeping the arms out to the side, but really they could reach forward. You can do whatever you want. And then let's just step that right foot back down and just get your footing. Bend that left knee, open to your warrior one again. Lots of lifting out of your lower back. Straighten the back leg. And then keep the heart light now as you go ahead and you rotate. Really kind of opening to your right so you can now go to warrior two. You reach your arms out to the side. So that right foot has to adjust a little bit. It's good with these three poses to really get that study of what the feet are doing. Make sure now re-bend that left knee. Lift up your spine. Breathe in here. Allow the smile. Good, and then just arms down. Feet parallel. They could stay wide apart and then step together. So it's almost like the legs like grab, give them a little time to draw toward one another here. Mountain pose. Breathe into the whole body. Now, speaking of repetition, We're going to do those three just a little swifter. So step the feet wide apart. Reach your arms out to the side here, and then open right foot to the right. Now you're going to reach your arms up as you face the right, and you're going to move to warrior one. So that left foot really has to shift. So you could bend that right knee, facing your hips. The right, open up here. Strong. There's that deep strength, so the skin is soft, kind of relax. You can just breathe into this. And the arms start to go to the side. You know, like I'm preparing for warrior three. Balance on the right leg. So do your study. Shift. Weight right on top of that right leg. As you're ready, the back leg lifts. Let the body do this. The mind doesn't have to dictate. As you step back where you came from, when you drop that back foot, it's a good way to just practice, like right into your warrior one again. You just, lift up. Right knee is bent, that back leg is straight. Now the chest starts to rotate and open as you sneak to your warrior two. You're reaching now that left arm way back, that left leg stays straight. It feels like you want to briefly straighten right leg and then bend it again. And then the arms come down, straighten both legs, and then parallel feet. Step together. So right here, when we move into mountain pose, it's good to feel like your shoulder blades draw down. That little lift of your navel or up through your thighs. And like, woo, it's kind of an updraft. From your ankles down are grounding down. From your ankles up, lifting up. Stepping wide apart. Open left foot to the left. Right foot moves in. And then as you move to warrior one, well, let's just take the arms out. And as you bring the arms up, you face, your chest is going to face the left. And as you start to bend that left knee, you might really feel that you have to adjust. So the back foot is going to move, that right foot has to move so you can face the left with your navel. Then the warrior one, like, okay, now you can ground that back foot. You lift your chest. Remember, right in between is that lift of your navel. Warrior one. Arms go to the side. You start to shift, like now that left leg needs to turn into your girder, your standing girder. Balance, that back leg starts to lift. Letting your body organize itself. Stay aware of this growing relationship, mind and body. This growing friendship. Go ahead and step back where you came from. And just let the feet push down. So, warrior one. And then as you rotate your chest to open. So so that you can reach that right arm back. Oh, warrior two. Maybe straighten both legs and then bend that left knee again. There's that reaching right arm to the right, left knee to the left. Good. As the arms come down, feet are parallel. Stepping together. Just lift up. Got to ground the feet. So ankles down, push down. Ankles up, lift up. What does it feel like to take the arms right down sides of your body? Good. Let's go ahead and just release down onto the floor. And as we do this, we are just going to sit with the legs in front of you. And you're kind of leaning back into your hands. We're going to do just our little movement back and forth where your feet are wide apart and you just start to drop your knees back and forth. Loose. Oh. Breathe. So in those standing poses, there's a lot of arm lifting. So now we're going to do different arm work. It's the weight bearing in the arms as we explore our half circle pose. You're going to start just by taking your legs wide apart here. Straighten the legs. Maybe lift a little more upright. So half circle pose, take your right knee, bend your right knee, and bring your right foot on the inner left thigh. Take your right hand and just reach it way out to the side. So it's not right against you. You're reaching out. So here's the weight bearing in the right arm now. You're going to push into that right hand. And you're going to lift up. Lift your hips. And just lift that top arm up. Now let this just blossom and open here. Feel the earth and what you're grounding down. Lift out of your bottom shoulder. Don't sink in your right shoulder. Then very gradually come down. And we'll switch sides. So as you switch, you bring that left foot in, the right leg extends out, and you reach that left hand way out to the left. So weight bearing in the left arm. Now as you lift pelvis up, lift your heart, reach your arm up. Always, getting the detailed information from your body, and if you need to do little adjustments here. That top arm really can go wherever you want. Be very aware of your shoulders and the space in your chest across your shoulders. Good. Now, as you come down, you just release down. This is a really nice one to go back and forth. I just think of this as almost like I just think of like the modern dance classes that I used to take. And you're just going to let that go to the other side. Just push down. Just let this just sweep up. Slowly release down. So it's very light and graceful as you go back and forth. This is, the way that we wake up the whole body. You have to feel grounded and then light and that lightheartedness as you go back and forth. You just play. Like, what if this did kind of turn into more of a dance where you bring in, any little variation that you want to. enjoy staying, connected, and how like the body kind of takes over and how it wants to do this. Notice your neck, your head, the inside of your head. Deep breath sweeping through the body. Good. Now, as we're going to let that come to an end, you're going to take your legs right in front of you. So that action, legs wide apart, kind of actually working a little bit of the outer hips, we'll take this one little seated twist here, where your legs are in front of you, and we'll keep your right foot where it is, right leg where it is, and take and bend your left knee. Let your left foot go up and over. Now you can take your hands forward and just kind of squeeze together here. So the together is your left thigh is pulling in, but then your spine is pulling in. Okay, we get a little assist from the arm strength. And the sides of your body really lengthen up here. Keeping your right hand where it is. Lift up your spine, take a little twisting so your navel is rotating to your left. Keep grounding your left foot. So as you're here, what I love about this repetition is that instead of kind of cranking yourself into this twist, when you inhale, you're going to let yourself untwist partway. And then as you exhale, you go, move back into the twist. And you inhale, you kind of untwist. And you exhale and you move into the twist. But the whole time, you're getting taller and taller and taller. And you have to stay like more and more thoroughly grounded through the base of the body. Very relaxed through your throat and your mouth. Good. And then just release this. Let it go. As you untwist, left leg goes in front of you and the right knee bends. That right foot goes up and over, and you could just give that little hug in. So remember that we're not slouching back here at all. There's that deep strength in the spine in this twist, in the back muscles to stay upright. So it's good to assist. Keep your left hand where it is. Right arm releases and just opens that initial twisting. Easy twist. So lots of space to lift up here. Ground your right foot down. So breathe your belly. And as you move into this twist, of course, you could just exhale, squeeze. But on the inhale, you lift up, you lengthen, you untwist a little bit. And then you exhale, you just move into this. So this self-study, we want to make sure that we don't have an agenda here. We want to see clearly, like, am I setting myself up for disappointment? Closing your eyes, just breathe and feel it. So simple. I'm breathing, I'm moving, I'm exploring this little bit of a twist. And the effort to keep yourself upright. Good. And then as you let go of this twist, as you're untwisting, we are going to take just a little forward bend, but your legs are going to be crossed. So you're in an easy cross-legged position. Hands come down. So you could kind of lift your chest up a little bit and then rotate slightly to face your right knee. And you're going to let yourself just slowly release out over that right leg. Now, I like to take and just walk my fingers out to the side. Such a good one for moving according to how this feels. You breathe. And possibly your left hand, when you reach that left hand, it moves into that deep stretch. And keep your left hip really grounded. Like you don't want to be lifting up and tipping. Drop your head. As you come up, just do that little rotation, a small twist. So you're facing to the left, just over your knee. And you start to fold. It's good to just feel almost like the weight of your belly kind of dropping, rather than contracting your navel as you start to fold over. Relax down. So heart is reaching out, walking your hands, fingers. Make sure that you're not lifting your chin too much. In fact, finally start to even drop your head. Bring yourself up. So as you let go of your cross-legged position, you're going to move right onto your back. So I do believe I promised a little bit longer Shavasana. So let's move into this practice of stillness. Go ahead and recline now. If it feels like you want to do any last little fluid movement before you come to stillness, please do that. Or putting on any layers, grab a blanket. So this practice of compassion. We know that if the body is not comfortable, if your body is cold, it's not going to relax. So let's, do that work, that practice of creating these conditions that lead to a deep letting go and a deep stillness. So step one, finding reclined position and doing just that initial letting go. Closing the eyes. This pose of Shavasana has its own practice of repetition. Otherwise, we're really well trained at following distractions like thoughts or stories. You see that? Yeah, I'm really good at that. So can I let go? So in this stillness now, bring awareness to your forehead. Full, complete awareness to your forehead. Bring awareness to your lips. Aware of your throat. Bring your full awareness to your right shoulder. Be aware of your right elbow. Your right wrist. Bringing full awareness to your right hand. So we keep coming back. Right fingers. Be aware of your whole right arm. Aware of your throat. The mind is really fast. It might really quickly wander off. With great compassion, we come back. Bring awareness to your left shoulder. Your left elbow. Aware of your left wrist. Your left hand. Left fingers. Your whole left arm. Release the weight of your head. Feel that letting go. Now bring awareness to the center of your chest. Imagine, use your imagination and sense your lungs. Space around your lungs, your heart is cradled in your lungs. They work together, doing their little dance. Bring awareness now down to your navel. And around the navel center, start to move deep into the belly, your awareness. You might notice that your awareness really has a healing quality. It's so, in a way, pure. Be aware of your right hip, your right knee, your right ankle, be aware of your right foot, right toes. Be aware of your whole right leg. And bring in awareness to your left hip, your left knee, be aware of your left ankle, the left sole of the foot, left toes. Aware of your whole left leg. And as you bring awareness now to your whole body, you might understand that this repetition, kind of working this muscle that is our awareness muscle to keep coming back. What does it feel like when you come back? Allow your throat to soften again. Allow your eyes to soften again. As we grow this awareness, this sensitivity, this connectedness, we could remember that this is actually a connection to all beings. This tenderness is felt by all beings. So, in a way, when we transition, all we're doing is we're just shifting to the next yoga pose. Oh yeah, come back up to seated and maybe locate the spine. There's my strength, but I can stay connected to the whole body. Allow, in a way, the eyes almost stay in Shavasana, very relaxed, calm. Stay palms together in front of the heart, sending out this wish that may we continue to deepen this connection, to do this work that leads to freedom for ourselves and all beings. May all beings be free. And close with the sound of Om. Take a deep inhale. Hmm. Thank you so much for practicing together today. Thank you for being here. Um, so this live stream class, if you want to, at the end, you could leave a little chat, the comment in the chat if you want to leave any sentiment. I will just remind you that there will be class tomorrow morning. I have a Zoom class from 9 to 11 on Saturdays. So you can always find that link on my website at boleryoga.com. And yeah, I just so deeply appreciate all of your ongoing practice. That these classes, it's so fascinating. Like I can feel it, that people's connection to this practice, it keeps going. I mean, it's so great that we're not, we're not losing that zeal. The heart continues to leap up when it knows that there's such relief and really connection to life that we get during when we do this practice. And that can be absent a lot lately, of like just feeling disconnected. So I am just so inspired by all of you continuing to practice. It really keeps my practice alive too. So thank you, and I wish you a wonderful rest of your day. So nice to see everyone. Hey, Michelle, Anne, Mary Pat, Cheryl, Louisa, Gabe again, Ria, Mary Pat, and Leah. You're welcome, Ria. Mary Pat, next week, I did not mention, I do believe that the holiday of Christmas is next Friday. So I am not going to hold class on that day, on Friday morning. But all other classes will be held. So, like Thursday morning on Christmas Eve day, I am still going to hold that half-hour class. So Thursday morning, it's at 7:30 a.m. Okay. Now, thankfully, thanks to Common Ground and all of these online streamed classes, you can always watch them if you still want to practice on your own on Christmas Day. So you could access those on this, kind of right where you are on this YouTube channel. Thanks for asking, Mary Pat.